Hello and welcome to the 12th episode of the Sam Hossack Media Podcast. I am pleased today to be joined by a Little Caesars Detroit U.S. Canada Cup champion, an under 18 Team Ontario gold medalist, and a seventh overall pick in the NWHL draft. Not a big deal. Please welcome to the show from the National Women's Hockey League, Connecticut Whale, number 5, Victoria Howran.
Hi, Sam. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. So we'll go back to your days in the Provincial Women's Hockey League with Whitby. Just talk about the time you spent there and how it helped you get to the next level.
Yeah, so my time in Whitby, I spent 1 year playing midget and 2 years playing juniors. There, it was a lot of traveling from home, about just over 2 hours one way. Um, so I got to do a lot of spend a lot of time in the car. But overall, hockey wise, it was a great team. My coaching staff was amazing there. It definitely helped me build on some key skills, which led to UNH recruiting me. And I'm very thankful for all of that. I stay in touch with a lot of players that I played with me with, and played against some of them throughout my days at UNH. So yeah, it was a good time.
Now, take us through getting recruited by UNH. How did that kind of happen? And just talk about actually signing there.
Yeah, so I was recruited by a few different schools. UNH was the last school to contact me, um, and initially it felt like the right place for me. So my sister and I drove down and toured the school very quickly. Within 2 days, we drove there, toured, and drove back. And it like once I stepped on campus, I knew it was the place for me. It had that great balance between hockey and academics, and just felt like home there. So, yeah, my assistant coach Bill Bose recruited me, and so about uh, a year later, so I committed in 2015 verbally, and then signed just prior to going. So, um, yeah, it was great. The recruiting process can be stressful for some. I definitely had a lot of support staff around me that helped with that, so that was good.
Now, take us through your first year that at UNH and kind of how it went for you.
Yeah, my first year was a little bit of a struggle. I got sick before I even my first week at school, which really put things on the back burner. Um, so, I mean, we didn't quite have a full roster, so everybody dressed that year, which was good. It was definitely a building year for me. Definitely, the older players helped me sort of transition to the game. It's a lot faster than the PWHL. So that was a big adjustment for me to try and go from the PWHL to Hockey East, one of the toughest loops at that time in college hockey. So um, it was definitely the vets that helped with that transition, just little skills and during practice to help um, change my game a little bit.
Now, obviously, in Hockey East, you're not just playing in kind of that division. So, what were some of your favorite road trips you guys went on during your first year?
Um, my first year, it's been so long. Um, yeah, so we went to it's sort of a blur, but I believe that year we went to Colgate, which was a school I was interested in but didn't really know. So it was fun to go there and play. It was definitely, I mean, they were a strong team every year, and so it was one of my first games in collegiate hockey, and they came out fast and strong. So um, it was just their facility was new and definitely a fun road trip.
Now, take us through some of the seniors you would have played with that year and just how much those girls would have helped you being a rookie that year.
Yeah, so my freshman year, we had one senior, Jonna Curtis. She now plays with the Minnesota Whitecaps. She was our only senior that year and great person on and off the ice, has tremendous work ethic, um, and is fast on the ice, very skilled player. Um, she was very welcoming, which really helped that transition from moving across into a different country for sure. Um, Going from a little small town in Bancroft, Ontario to Durham, New Hampshire. So definitely a haul, but yeah, she was great. Nothing but nice things to say about her. And then the junior class that year, there was a few of them that really defensively helped me and helped me come out of my shell a little bit as a person.
Now, heading into your second year, you scored your first NCAA goal. Take us through the game and how you remember that.
Yeah, I mean, so I scored a goal the end of my freshman year in playoffs, and it got called back, which was unfortunate in playoffs, but it happens sometimes. So my first goal came in a 9-1 win versus Holy Cross. Um, Not the most ideal way to score a first goal, but it got there. And then a few came after that. So yeah, my first goal was just a shot from the point, lots of traffic in front, and just mostly a flutter shot. Nothing real special about it. But
Now, you played 4 years at UNH. So, out of that, what are some of the memories you'll carry on for the rest of your life from those experiences?
yeah, every year was special in its own sense. I definitely grew a lot as a person and as a player each year. Some of my, I mean, Maddie Truax, I believe you're having on the show next. One of my best friends and lifelong friends that I will keep from UNH. We definitely had a lot of laughs and we got to play quite a bit together, which was a lot of fun. Can be scary at moments, but it was fun to say that in the end. But yeah, so she'll be a lifelong friend. You had Emily Rickwood on your podcast, and we stay in touch. So, and she's a really good friend, very skilled player, great person. Um, but some of the memories, like my senior year, winning the quarterfinals against Providence, go on with the Hockey East tournament, definitely something that really I'll take with me for the rest of my life. Because it was the only time we actually did that. So definitely exciting.
Now, take us through that Hockey East tournament. Obviously, that's a prestigious tournament to be a part of with all those top schools out there. So, just take us through the experience you had with that.
Yeah, so we after beating Providence in a best of three, we played Yukon, and it wasn't our best showing, but I think it was just a lot of nerves, and um, we hadn't been there before, so it was something new for us. But we still played our hearts out, and that's all you can ask for in a team, giving 100% effort, and um, a few bounces here or there, it could have changed the game a lot. So um, it's definitely a great experience, and I'm sure UNH and those players that are behind me will get that experience again and be a little more prepared.
Now, what was your favorite Hockey East place to play in?
Oh, other than other than Durham, I love the wit. The Whittemore Center is definitely home. Other than the wit, I really enjoyed playing at Providence. Actually, their ice is very bright. I like that facility a lot. The ice is always great there. I love the space behind the net. It gives it a little more mobility as a defenseman, and you can use it a lot. A lot. So.
Now, outside of Hockey East, what was one of your favorite arenas to play in?
St. Lawrence was really cool. I liked the old bar. I mean, they've recently renovated it, but before that, the old barn style was definitely quite the atmosphere. Um, Growing up in a small town, it was similar to our rink here, so it felt like home going back there too. So yeah.
Now, this podcast wouldn't be the same without bringing a special guest on.
Hi,
Hi.
Maddie.
Hello.
So please welcome our special guest from the University of New Hampshire women's hockey team, Maddie Truax.
Hi.
All right, so I came up with some questions for you guys here. Obviously, you guys are best friends and played together for a few years. So, what is the other person's most embarrassing story? We'll start off with that.
Well, I don't think you have any tour. I think I'm the clown.
The clown.
I think I am.
Well, I can think of my most embarrassing story, but
Was I there?
no, you were.
Oh wait, is it the one I'm thinking of?
I don't know, maybe.
I think it's the one I'm thinking of, but is it the stairs?
Yes.
I know. I've heard it. I've heard of it. I wasn't there though.
No, it was freshman year. Your most embarrassing story. I wouldn't say it was embarrassing, but it was funny. When we did our podcast YouTube channel, and you compared yourself as a bulldog. And then
I compare people to dogs. Didn't think that was gonna happen. I like to compare people to like dogs or animals, and I'm usually kind of like spot on. And I compared myself to like the UMD bulldog logo. Well, I wasn't there for Tori's. Tori's usually doesn't. Yeah, I'm the clown of the friendship. Like, I'm the one that makes the bad decisions, the one who convinces to go to Canada randomly. Tori was walking down the stairs at the Whittemore Center, and the Whittemore Center stairs are literally like, it's literally one after the other, and there's just, if you're going down, you go down. And I think you either missed a step or you just all of a sudden just twisted ankle right into the glass.
Right before hockey game.
Right before you played.
Yep.
So, I mean, other than that, I don't have another one for Tori. She probably has a lot about me, though, which is scary.
Yeah, quite a few.
What makes the other person angry?
Oh. Well, I mean, I feel like you don't tell me when you're angry, but
It can be pretty obvious.
Is it chewing?
Yeah, like smacking.
Yeah, you do not like that.
No.
Not at
Or
all.
the pen clicking.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm trying to think.
On the ice, what makes you angry is like cheap shots.
I get angry very fast with that.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't.
Unnecessarily aggressive cheap shots.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Just, yeah. I get it. I'm little. I'm easy to toss around, but come on now. On the ice for you, I don't know. You don't.
I'm pretty level-headed.
You are. You don't really say much. I mean, we were D partners, so I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't got much. You're a very person again, level-headed.
Now, what would be a song that would be on this soundtrack of the other person's life?
Let me get my phone for this.
Um,
I gotta look.
Oh, not even that. Your song would be UCLA.
That is my favorite song. You're more of a country gal.
Yeah.
The soundtrack of your life tour.
I don't know. It's not gonna be life though.
I'm trying to think. I don't really know. I know you're the biggest country person I know. You don't really stray that line.
No. Well, I would think like Macklemore.
For me?
No, for me.
Oh, I was like, I'm not that one.
No, not you.
Oh, yeah, you have one song. Every time we listen to it, I cry.
Yeah.
What is it?
I think it's Good Times by Macklemore.
Every time we listen to that song in the car, I cry. Because he just left me.
I just like
You just left me.
no.
Yeah. That is a good spot on one. I'll give it to you.
Now, if you could marry any celebrity, who would the other person choose?
Who would I choose, Tor?
I don't know.
I got a variety of them, so pick one. I can't say his name ever. Channing Tatum for you.
Yeah. He's good looking. I can't complain with that one.
I knew it.
I'm like drawing a blank right now for you.
It's a wide variety. They're all different people looking. I'm not picky. You could say one, I'd say yes.
You would I'm terrible with celebrities to begin with.
True. That and the music.
Yeah. Aren't really my thing.
I would marry Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
I have nothing against him. Everything for him.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, what is the other person's worst habit?
Biting your nails.
Yeah.
Automatic.
Your worst habit.
I don't want to know if I want to know. Huh?
You lose your phone a lot.
Oh, I lose my car keys every day.
Yeah, you lose things a lot. Or misplace them.
I just found my top retainer after 2 years.
You drop your phone a lot. That's a bad habit.
I broke an OtterBox case the other day. I thought they're indestructible. No, they're not. Yeah, it's bad.
What is one word that describes the other person?
I'm gonna get soft here. Fierce. Okay, I was gonna say caring for you, but I mean, I don't know. I was saying caring. Fierce. Okay.
Kind came to my mind first, and then I was like,
I'm sure kind came to your mind first.
It did.
I just say
Thoughtful.
caring.
You're very thoughtful. Considerate.
Trying to make up for it now. I see. I see you.
There's many words that describe you.
Now, what age was the other person when they started playing hockey?
I feel like you were out of the womb. They just threw a pair of skates on you and said, go.
You were either 3 or 4.
Yeah, around that age. I feel like you were like 3 or 4.
I
But
think
you were did you start figure skating? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was 4, 5. I think I was 4.
I'm still going with the womb.
The womb. Canadians
Right.
are just born out of the womb playing hockey.
They're born with skates on. Did you not know that? They didn't tell you, did they?
No.
They should have told you. You had no choice.
Who is the messiest person?
We have our moments.
Yeah, we used to live together too, along with being together 24/7. So it's like, depends on the day. It's real bad when we both are.
Yeah, it depended on the week and our schedules. What it was like.
True. But you're more organized, like, than you think.
I know where everything is in a messy manner.
Exactly. That's the thought.
Who is the biggest TikToker on the UNH women's hockey team?
The biggest, I'd have to give it to, right now, Emily Rickwood. That girl thrives on TikTok. And she's not ashamed of it. She loves it. And she does a pretty good job at it. So, I mean.
Her and Lindsay do a lot of TikTok.
Yeah, they love TikTok.
Younger generation.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few people on my team who do TikTok, like Siobhan Truder, Avery Myers. But I would say Ricky's the biggest TikTok person. Props to her.
You have a few up.
I put one. I do.
Now, speaking of TikTok, there was one, and it's going to get brought up in the podcast with Maddie tomorrow, but Maddie let Tori wax her face before media day. Talk about this story and how did this happen?
I'm going to be real with you. I mean, if every girl waxes their face, their eyebrows, their lips, everything, and I was like, I don't want to look like disgusting for media day. So Tori was at my house, and I was like, let's go. We're going to buy. I think we walked into like Walmart or CVS, and I was just like, I want to go get it.
Yeah.
See, this is where the clowniness comes in. I make the decisions fast, very, very impulse. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I'm sitting at my kitchen table. As soon as she puts the thing on, it's on my lip. First of all, I'm like, I'm gonna lose my lip. I was like, oh my god, and I was like, you can't do it. I just kept fighting her, and you're like, let me do it. And I was like, okay. It hurt, and it ended up being
bad.
There ended up being like a rash right here, like, and we had pictures that like next week and like green screen and stuff, and I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to cover this up? Like, I tried so hard covering it. Nope. But I will say she's very good at it. She has no hesitation all at once. Eyes kind of watered, but you did a good job. You got it all.
Oh, good. I'm glad. First time's a charm, I guess. I don't know.
Oh god, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you let me do it.
Just go with the flow. Seems like a fun thing to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, before you guys met and knew each other's names, what would you have guessed the other person's name to be and why?
No. If it was before I met you on the stairs.
Yeah, our first
encounter was not good, but I'm gonna go with like Kind of like a basic name. I'm gonna go with Samantha. But like Samantha, not Sam. Samantha.
The two names that are coming to mind would be Bailey and Amanda. I don't know why.
Okay, I'm not offended. That's good. I was waiting to be offended. I was waiting for like a Tiffany, a Brittany. I'm glad you didn't do that to me. Thank you.
Simple, basic. I don't know.
It's simple, basic. I'm basic.
Now, what qualities make a teammate a good captain?
Communication.
Yeah.
There's different
Also,
styles of
yeah.
leaders, I would say. I mean, like, you're a very vocal leader, which is why you're a really good captain.
Yeah, I'm vocal. I would say also just leading by example, good quality to have. Tori did that a lot while she's at UNH. I mean, I know she's not a captain at Connecticut, but she does lead by example on that team. She works very hard. If you work hard too, that's another thing. But you don't always need to have the voice. You just work hard, lead by example. People follow that, so it's good.
I mean, your work ethic showed through at UNH, and you were rewarded with the captaincy. I mean, it's just perseverance, and that's what Maddie had a lot at UNH, which led to her being a great captain this past year, and hopefully next year, if she stays.
The convincing. But yeah, I think that a lot of it comes with your past captains too, your past leaders, your past senior class, especially in the college level. But I'm sure I'm going to call it the adult world because I like to bubble myself. I'm the college world. Then there's the adult world. I'm sure in the adult world, there's a lot more than leading by example. There's also communication, being there for other people, like that is in the college world too, just being understanding. I mean, you don't always have to go through what that person went through or go through what that person is going through to be like there, listen, be like a rock kind of thing, be dependable. So, which is what Tori is in general. You're welcome.
And now the last one before we wrap this segment up. What is the other person's favorite movie?
This girl doesn't watch movies. She doesn't even know what Shrek is.
Yes, I do. I watched Shrek like 2 months ago.
I'm not kidding. She doesn't watch movies.
I don't. There is one movie that's definitely. Yours is it's the new one. Like a picture of the people in it.
I'm still trying to figure out your movie.
It's the people
I know.
dressed up and do the dancing. The Greatest
Grease.
Showman.
Oh, I do love that one. That one's good. That is my new favorite. I like Grease too. I'm into the musical ones. I'm trying to think of yours. I mean, I could name the show. Like, she watches Blind Spot. She watches I'm gonna say How to Get Away with Murder. She watches like that kind of stuff. I can't name the movie. What is it?
Now You See Me.
Of course. Could have guessed, but I did not. So that sucks. But it's okay. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of movies, so it's hard.
Nope.
I'm
Not even Shrek.
Person.
Yeah.
Well, on behalf of the listeners, thanks to Maddie Truex for hopping on here for this little segment. We'll have her on for episode 13 tomorrow afternoon, so everyone can look forward to that. So thanks for coming on here, Maddie.
Thank you for having me. Good to see you, Tori, and I'll see you tomorrow, Sam.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.
So hopefully the fans kind of enjoyed that little segment. It was definitely a surprise for Tori to have Maddie come on for sure. And we'll transition now into the NWHL. Obviously, seventh overall pick. So take us through draft day, how it went, and how you found out the Connecticut Whale had drafted you.
Yeah, it was an exciting day. I was with my family here at home and we were watching it, following along on Twitter. So, um, and then all of a sudden my name popped up and it was an exciting time. Everybody was very happy for me and I was happy to continue playing, and being drafted is such an honor by Connecticut. I couldn't be more excited.
Now, take us through how the season went. Obviously, it was a different season than what normally would happen. So, just take us through from day one up until things ended last weekend, how it went.
Yeah, so day one, they we met for practices. Um, we were practicing twice a week. A lot of COVID protocols, testing, and such. So since day one, it's been a blast. It's been enjoyable to go to the rink each day. Uh, all the girls have been so inviting and welcoming, and um, just a few weeks in, Shannon became my defensive partner, and like she's such a bubbly person and brings so much energy to the table. So it was a lot of fun to play with her, and her skill set is great, and to learn and use her as a role model for my first year was great. Um, Leading up to the bubble was exciting. We were all ready and prepared after 3 long months of practicing 2 to 3 times a week. Um, and then, unfortunately, after the first week or so in the bubble, it got shut down due to COVID. Um, but my first experience was great. My first game definitely took me by surprise a little bit and took me a period or two to settle in. And then after that, I felt pretty comfortable playing and playing off people and such. So, and then after the bubble, we weren't sure what was really going to happen. There was a couple weeks taken off, and then we got right back into practices. And it was so much fun to get back to the rink right away and on the ice some more. So, um, unfortunately, our game didn't go as planned the last weekend, but still a great accomplishment. And hopefully next year we can build off that too. So.
So, obviously, being in a bubble, take us through that experience. What was it like, and what was kind of your daily routine inside the bubble?
Yeah, so in the bubble, it varied a little bit each day, but typically we would have breakfast delivered outside our door in the morning, um, and then we would all be tested. We would go to the rink, practice, and then come back and have lunch. And then if it was a game day, we would um, after lunch you sort of did your own thing in your room. And then mentally prepared for the game. Got pre-game meal delivered to the room, and then the 2 hours before we would head to the rink, and we would have a little um, spread out COVID available meeting with the coach, and then it was sort of warm up, usual game day routine from there. So we did off ice warm up, got dressed, did on ice warm up, and then it was time to hit the ice. After the game, we had to wait to shower when we got back to our rooms. Those amenities weren't available due to COVID. So we got back to the rooms and had post game meal, and then we went straight to bed and woke up and did it all over again. So it was pretty confined. You were in your room a lot by yourself, unfortunately, but during these times it was what it was, and that was the best way we could think of to try and get through that bubble um, with limited COVID exposure.
So obviously, you guys play for a week and then get shut down. So just take us through how you guys had to adapt from being able to play games. And obviously the season was going to be shortened to 6 or 8 games, and you guys played three. But how did you guys kind of adapt after it got shut down?
Yeah, so I mean, we everybody had to take a couple weeks off after the bubble got shut down due to quarantine reasons. Most about 70% or more of our team ended up getting COVID, so um, it was hard on everyone. Everyone reacted differently to COVID. People had a lot of symptoms, some didn't. So we took those 2 weeks to quarantine, and then when practices started again, they were pretty light, just to test people's respiratory systems a little bit and their heart rates. We didn't want to push too fast, too quickly, because it was like we just didn't know what our system was going to be like after having COVID. So uh, it took a week or so to get back into game shape and routine a little bit on the ice. So that was definitely difficult, but it was still good.
Now, obviously, season didn't end the way you guys wanted, but did you guys kind of watch the rest of the season and watch Boston go on to kind of win it? And what were your overall thoughts on how the season went?
Yeah, so in the bubble, I thought we did a great showing of what we had worked on throughout November, December, and January leading up to the bubble. And then we got struck with COVID, unfortunately. But um, even after the bubble, our practices were good. Um, and then going into that game, we all felt pretty good. We just didn't have a bounce here or there in the first period, and it could have changed the outcome of the game. But uh, I think it was hard because our head coach Colton Roy didn't make it into the bubble with us, unfortunately, due to exposure to COVID again. So that definitely impacted us a little bit, but we tried to make the most of the situation. And then that game didn't go as planned, but we had lots of chances and we just couldn't bury the puck. A lot of them, I mean, we outshot them 44-29 and they finished on their chances and we didn't. But I think almost all of us did watch the championship game. And because, I mean, we're on television and that's definitely great exposure for women's hockey and building the game and definitely exciting for the NWHL. So we all wanted to watch, and the game was awesome to watch. Both Minnesota and Boston played very well, and it was exciting and really showcased what the NWHL is all about and the speed of the game and where women's hockey is going.
Now, a conversation I had with Emily Rickwood and Maddie was during the women's hockey. They had the Frozen Four a few weeks ago, and they showcased that kind of on TSN. And last weekend, the men's had their regionals, and obviously, you being from Canada, you know what TSN's all about, kind of thing. They were showcasing the regional tournament and they hadn't done that kind of for the women. So obviously, as a former NCAA uh, player, what are your thoughts on kind of that situation? And do you think women's hockey should be getting more exposure just like the men's are?
Yeah, absolutely. I think women's hockey has its place in entertainment value, and definitely should be getting the same exposure to men's hockey. Um, I mean, we don't have the hitting, but we still have quite a bit of body contact in our game, which makes it exciting. Where, um, I mean, a lot of people watch men's games due to the big hits and the physicality, but I mean, women's games are just can be just as physical sometimes. Um, and like with TSN, I think the fact that they did showcase a little bit of the Frozen Four for the women is great. Um, if they were able to show the regional, I think that would have really showed their place and their side of women's hockey. But um, obviously, men's hockey is definitely more popular still. So um, showcasing them more is to be expected right now. But I think over the next few years, you'll see TSN really branch into women's hockey as well to showcase both genders in the sports. Yeah.
And obviously, the big discussion that kind of came out of TikTok for the basketball side of things, for kind of the same discussion, but Sedona Price from Oregon, she kind of really brought the issue up. The women's national tournament there for March Madness, they weren't really getting the same exposure and kind of stuff that the men were getting. So, what was your overall thought on kind of seeing that? Because I'm sure, obviously, you did.
Yeah, I saw it shortly after it was released, and I was pretty disappointed in the NCAA. I feel both women and men bring opportunities to them equally. Um, and with Title IX and stuff, I feel it was validation of it. So yeah, women should definitely be offered the same training facilities, and um, opportunities as the men are offered in those circumstances. They've both earned their slot to make it that far for March Madness. And I mean, I was very disappointed, but I was happy to see other uh, companies sort of step up and support those women in the basketball March Madness. So I think it's just trying to limit that stereotype of like women don't really work out or women don't lift a lot of weight, because that's no longer the case in the world we live in today, and they should be given the same opportunities as men.
Now, here finally, before we wrap things up, heading into the NWHL season next year, what's the kind of look for summer for you, and what are you kind of needing to do to get ready for a season next year?
Yeah, so I'm sort of just wrapping up last season a little bit still. So, but going into summer, I'll be working, but I'll also be focusing a lot on training and different skills that I feel could really improve my game for next season. Um, so I'll be doing that, but mostly like weightlifting and conditioning are going to be my focus for this summer. Especially being back in Ontario, I mean things are shutting down again, so it's going to be difficult to try and do that. But um, we'll see how this summer goes and go from there. But I will try to be prepared as best I can come September when training camp starts.
Now, obviously, you had been down in the bubble in the States. So, how hard was it to kind of just coming back and adjusting to life in Ontario, obviously, where you're from, where things have been different for months for COVID, but to adjust to being in lockdown now, where you wouldn't have been this last 6 months in the States. So, how are you adjusting to that?
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely an adjustment right now in 14-day quarantine because I just got home Sunday. So it's definitely quite an adjustment to not have the freedom as I did that down in the States. So we'll see after these 14 days. I mean, it's still pretty. I mean, Ontario is going back into lockdown starting tomorrow. So um, it will still be an adjustment not being able to go into stores or just freely go out. But yeah, so it'll be hard, but I mean, I did it last spring after UNH, so I do have a little bit of experience with quarantine and lockdowns, unfortunately. But just trying to make the best of the situation and enjoy the time with my family after not seeing them for 7 months. So yeah.
Now, obviously, when you go back down to the States, what are you most looking forward to kind of being able to do with your teammates? Obviously, it'll be a few months until you see them, so I'm sure you guys will want to be able to do some stuff together. So, what are some of the things you guys want to be able to do together?
I think just being together and making memories and um, having lots of laughs on the ice is stuff that we look forward to. Going out to dinner and just having a chat or catching up on our summer plans and what we did and such. So I think just being surrounded by people and uh, being with being surrounded by people with the same goal in mind or ambition and passion. Um, so that will definitely be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, it's been an honor today. So I'd like to thank, on behalf of the listeners, Victoria Howran, for hopping on. Thank you so much for doing this. And we wish you the best of luck next season in the NWHL.
Thank you so much, Sam, for having me.